Okay. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us today, and welcome to your 2022 Virtual Benefits Fair. My name is Liz Gamble. I am your HR generalist, and I'm co-hosting today's fair with my colleague, Tracy LeBoy, our payroll and benefits specialist. I want to remind everybody that we are recording these sessions and we will be posting them on the HR webpage on our town website for those who were unable to join us or if you just want to reference back to it. It is open enrollment. So open enrollment begins today and goes through May 13th. And what that means is this is the time to make changes to any of your existing coverages or to add coverages, drop coverages, anything outside of a qualifying event. So we want to make sure you're getting all the information you need to make good choices. Each of the presenters that you will meet today have a brief presentation. They're going to go over their general benefit offerings and services. And at the conclusion of the presentation, we will have a Q&A. So this is our fourth session out of 6 today. This is Colonial Life, and Scott Curtis is here with us today, another longstanding vendor of the town. And I'm going to hand it over to Scott to go through his presentation. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Liz, and thank you, Tracy. Appreciate all your guys' effort coordinating this virtual fair. And thank you guys for all attending. Appreciate it. This will be an information session for you guys. So if there's questions, you can either type them in the chat box or wait till the end when we open up the audio to anyone who wants to ask a question. Purpose of my meeting today is to introduce myself, introduce Colonial Insurance, give you guys a brief idea of what the benefits are under the plan so that you can kind of be better informed when you're making your decisions. I do have a little bit of a PowerPoint here, so I'll get that going. Of course, it's buried on my desktop. Great. Was everyone able to see the screen? Nice. So Colonial Life, welcome to your benefits session. The agenda: who is Colonial Life? What are our voluntary benefits? What benefits are available to me? And how do I get information or sign up? And of course, you got a beautiful picture of my mugshot there as well. One thing I want to do is first off, get you guys some important steps you could do right off the bat here. So right now you have a Colonial Life app you can download and have access to. So if you wanted to download that, if you're a current policyholder, you can access your information on your current plans, your claims, all that information. So that's a Colonial Life app that you can get from the App Store. I'm also going to send out a link here in the chat box that you guys can go ahead and click on to go ahead and schedule a meeting. So I'll put my contact information and other information in here. So if you guys do have any intent to do that, hopefully that link, oh, it doesn't seem like the link team active, but in any case, you got our number and you got our email there. So there is going to be an option though with some of the correspondence that comes out for you guys to click on some links either on the benefit page for Bridgewater or on some communication that comes out that will bring you to an electronic scheduler where you can actually get some advice, get questions answered, look at rates, and even sign up right over the phone. So what is Colonial? Colonial Life provides benefits for life's unexpected moments, including accidents or injuries. One of our most popular products is going to be our disability insurance. It's a plan that covers you if there's ever an accident or sickness and you can't work. So I do ask my clients when we're sitting down with them, when we're deciding whether or not these programs are going to be beneficial to the family or not, you got to ask yourself a couple of questions. You know, if you were injured and you couldn't come into work, how do the finances look? Are you able to continue to get by? Are you independently wealthy? Does your spouse make enough money that you don't have to worry about it? If the answer to those questions, though, is no, 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 then looking at a short-term disability policy is a great way to get yourself covered. So the other questions that I want to talk about is funeral costs and other things to consider, of course, with life. You know, if something happens to me unexpectedly, am I able to prepare for it? Am I able to handle it? Statistically speaking, they say that a $400 emergency that comes out of the blue Only 60% of Americans can cover that. 40% of Americans would be unable to cover it with cash savings or credit card. 27% would need to borrow the money or sell something. 12% would be unable to cover it all. So this kind of speaks to the need for some financial protection in the marketplace. Colonial was founded in 1939. They started as an all-female sales force, and they've been protecting families ever since for the last 80 years. They partner with over 100,000 businesses. They have protection policies in force for over 4.5 million employees, and they are part of the Fortune 500. In 2019, we were awarded #1 in customer service from Newsweek. The voluntary benefits we're going to go over here are benefits that you can opt into. They are all payroll deducted. They are owned by you, the employee. So if you ever leave employment, they travel with you at the same rates and the same benefits. Most of these plans extend to cover spouses and children as well. The benefits we're going to talk about here today briefly is going to be short-term disability insurance, life insurance, hospital confinement insurance, accident insurance, and critical illness insurance. Short-term disability in a nutshell is a way to protect your income. In the event that you ever have an accident or sickness and you can't work, these plans come in and start to pay you on top of any other benefits you may be entitled to, including workers' compensation or sick time that you may have accrued through your employment. So in a practice, you break an ankle, you get a COVID or a pneumonia, you can't come into work, you would reach out to Colonial, initiate the paperwork to file the claim. They would come in and start to look at making payments under that policy to you. Just about anything you can think of is covered: slips, falls, sprains, strains, cancers, heart attacks, strokes, pneumonias, you name it. As long as you see your doctor, he or she says you can't do your job, that's what constitutes a disability. That's when Colonial will look at making payments. The state, just to be clear, is now offering a program to some of our counterparts that work in the commercial sector. It's called PFML benefits, paid family medical leave. These benefits do not apply to municipalities. But our counterparts now in the banking industries, the automotive, the grocery stores all over Massachusetts now have short-term disability provided to them through the state. Municipalities have opted out of that. You still need to voluntarily elect to participate in short-term disability if you're working in a municipality. So I just wanted to clear that up. We do get a lot of calls. Hey, am I covered under this? Am I not? If you're working in a city or a town, you are currently not covered under the state's disability. The onus is on you to look at the voluntary options and elect to participate if you wish to. Short-term disability here can also cover spouses. So your spouse doesn't have adequate coverage through their employer, or maybe they're self-employed. You can get coverage for them through your employment here in the town of Bridgewater. One thing I'd like to mention here too is maternity benefits. The maternity benefits under the short-term disability are really a great resource for folks. There is one big catch. You cannot be pregnant when you're signing up. The policy does have a 9-month birth exclusion attached to it. So what that means is you got to do a little pre-planning and sign up before getting pregnant so that you'll be eligible to collect that 6 to 8 weeks worth of maternity benefits when that time comes. If you have questions about the maternity or any of the short-term disability options, please reach out to me or Christine, and we can help with getting rates, questions, and applications. The next benefit we're going to talk about is life insurance. Now, I know you guys are all fairly versed on life insurance, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here on it. Life insurance, if you haven't done any sort of other buy-ups, is typically fairly minimal. When you first start with the town, they probably offer a $5,000 or $10,000 plan that you start with. If you haven't bought any additional insurance since that initial time when you signed up with the town, you may not have any additional life insurance. So I encourage you to take the time when you're able, check what you currently have. And if you think you might need some more, or you want to at least look at the options, you can reach out to us and we'll be happy to help. The advantage of the Colonial life insurance programs, again, are that you own it. They are 100% portable. If you ever leave employment for any reason, you can take it with you at the same rates and the same benefits. Life insurance here under Colonial can also extend to spouses and children, so you can get coverage for them as well. Excuse me. They do offer the full range of life insurance. So we do have term life for you kids and spouse. And then they do have whole life insurance as well. So whole life insurance is being offered right now with no medical questions. It's actually a great opportunity for employees that either don't want to go through medical questions or physicals, or who can't because of some health conditions or otherwise, to look at these programs, because again, no medical questions, so everyone can jump in during this open enrollment without having to answer those. If you are participating in a whole life insurance, keep in mind rates under that program stay locked in for life. They never increase. So when you sign up for a plan today, the rate you pay today is the same as it is tomorrow, next year, when you're 65, 75, 85. It stays the same even after leaving employment. On these whole life plans too, they do build surrender value or cash value. So at some point, if you had an emergency or hardship, or you just wanted to be out of the plan, you can cancel it and they write you a check back for your accumulated cash value, which typically is very close to the money that you paid in. So kind of a neat program for getting yourself covered for final expenses and making sure, burdens aren't left to loved ones. I do, like I say, tell my clients, if you're not certain how much you have, or if you're just interested in finding out more, might be a good time to take a look at it and either reach out to HR or give us a call and we can help as well. So the other type of life insurance we offer besides whole life is that term insurance. Term insurance is a little bit different than whole life. Term life, the rates are very financially affordable. So term life is the most affordable type of life insurance you can buy. And the reason is that the cost of the plan is only locked in for 10, 20, or 30 years. So really term life plans are great for paying down mortgages, getting kids out of the house, or covering you for a time when you might be vulnerable to specific debt or expense or obligation. You do have to be ready to walk away from a term plan if you outlive its term period. So if you do a 20-year term, you're guaranteed that for 20 years, those rates are locked in at a low rate. Come that 21st year, though, these plans will start to increase in cost every year thereafter until you eventually either get priced out or die. So I do look at my clients when we get into the term plans, we do have to give them that little catch. Hey, it's very affordable. It's a great way to cover you for the next 10, 20, or 30 years. But you got to watch out for, if you try to keep the plan after that term period, it can start to get expensive. Term life insurance can be offered in any amount you want. Anything over 250,000 does require a physical. 250,000 or less typically can be gotten with no physicals required. Accident insurance. Now, accident insurance, one of the most common questions I get is, well, how is that different from disability insurance? So short-term disability, of course, pays you a monthly benefit as you're unable to work as a result of an accident or illness. Accident insurance pays a benefit just for getting treated for an accident. So you don't actually have to miss any time from work. All you have to do is have an accident, seek medical advice, and you'll be eligible for benefits. There's a whole slew of different benefits that the accident insurance will cover. It can extend to cover accident-prone spouses or kids that are involved in sports. The accident plan, just as an example, I like to use for a broken ankle, would provide benefits following for that kind of event. So if you broke an ankle 24 hours a day on or off the job, or if a spouse or a child did, and they were enrolled, these are kind of the benefits you would expect. Now, to be clear, the accident insurance does pay out on top of any other benefits you have. So it does pay out on top of your health insurance. If it happens on the job, it pays on top of anything the city's covering for you as well. So a broken ankle, for instance, when you go to the ER, doctor's office, or urgent care, this plan provides $125. So you get that initial benefit. There's $30 provided for an x-ray, $200 provided if you ride in an ambulance, $330 provided for a broken ankle bone. That amount does double if you need a surgery. So it goes to $660 if that ankle needs surgery. Other benefits that might be applicable to a broken ankle: hospital admission. So if you have a really bad break and you're admitted to the hospital for more than 21 hours, they give you $1,000 for admission. They then pay $225 a day for up to a year if you need to be confined to the hospital. Follow-up benefits: going back to the doctor to get that cast remover, have it looked at, $50 a visit for up to 3 follow-up visits. If you have a real bad break, they might do an MRI or a different medical image. That can get you another $150. They do provide a physical therapy benefit, $25 a treatment for up to 10 treatments. And then what they call an appliance benefit, anything that aids in mobility. In this case, crutches would be the obvious option. So that's one broken ankle, putting about $1,000 in your pocket if there's no surgery required. Now, to be clear, that's your money. You spend it on groceries, the rent, car payments, medical bills, whatever is your priority at the time. So that money comes to you tax-free. You determine how to spend it. It's a great way to offset some unexpected medical expenses from co-pays, deductibles, and just medical expenses in general. I like to tell my clients, if you're been to the ER, doctor's office, or urgent care in the last 2 years with yourself, kids, or spouse, if history repeats itself, this plan could be worth it. Costs on this plan are fixed. They're $4.88 a week for an individual, but it does pay you $50 back annually if you go in for your health screening tests. So if you're getting your cholesterol test done, mammogram, pap smear, breast ultrasounds, any of that kind of stuff done, they send you one check per year for $50 back. It actually ends up taking out about a quarter of the cost of the plan. There are spouse and child options, which do slightly increase the cost, but they don't increase much. So Olivia, this is very similar to the example we just went through. Olivia talking about the benefits that she received for ambulance ride, her accident, injury due to an automobile accident, the x-rays, and the other benefits provided. So in her case, with what looks to be a thigh fracture and surgery, she collected $5,800 or so from that plan. That's basically how it works. If you have an accident, submit proof of treatment, Colonial sends you the corresponding treatment benefits. The last one we're going to talk about here today is cancer and critical illness policy. This one's very basic. It provides a benefit to you in the event of a diagnosis of a major critical illness. Major medical is not what it used to be 20 years ago. We do know people who are getting diagnosed now with cancers and other illnesses that are having a tough time keeping up with medical expenses, even though they have a major medical insurance, let alone all the other expenses. So a lot of the major companies, including Colonial, now offer what we call a cancer or critical illness insurance. These policies provide a lump sum benefit in the event of diagnosis. You, the client, are going to pick the amount from $5,000 to $75,000, and that will determine the cost and the payout on the program. Just as an example, you pick a $50,000 benefit, you get diagnosed with a heart attack, stroke, cancer, end-stage kidney disease, coma, blindness, or paralysis. They write you a check for that $50,000 tax-free. You can collect up to 3 different times for 3 different occurrences. So if you collect $50,000 for a heart attack, 7 months later you have a stroke, you can collect another 50 for that stroke. Rates never go up, benefits never decrease. So once you're enrolled in this critical illness plan, you know it's going to stay at a predictable rate for the entirety of your life. If you happen to die prior to getting treatment, for instance, you're 85 years old, you have a heart attack, you don't make it to the emergency room, that $50,000 is now going to your beneficiaries on top of any other life insurance benefits you might have. So whether you live or die from the major event, you will actually be able to go ahead and collect those monies to help with the aftermath. 1 in 2 American men are going to develop some form of cancer throughout their life, and 1 in 3 American women. So those statistics are pretty scary. I think a lot of what the cancer and critical illness policy does is it buys you a little peace of mind, knowing that, hey, if that does come down the pipe for me, I'm going to be in a financially better situation to handle the aftermath. These programs do vary greatly by your age and by the amount you select. To get specific rates, just reach out to us. We'll be happy to provide those. These benefits are provided in addition to any other benefits you may be entitled to. So for instance, the question comes up, if I have short-term disability, will I collect while I'm out of work and collect this as well? And the answer to that is yes, you can collect on this policy in addition to your short-term disability benefit. One last one here, Medical Bridge. This one's a basic one. Part of our maternity package as well. It pays $500 for your first day of hospitalization and up to $400 a day thereafter for up to 75 days. We've never seen a program be so utilized as this one was during COVID. So we really had a lot of folks who went through hospitalizations that were collecting benefits on this for those days. $500 for their first day, up to $400 a day thereafter. So again, a nice way to mitigate some of those medical expenses if you ever do have hospitalizations. It does cover any reason you'd be hospitalized, just about. And it's very affordable. It's under $4 a week to get yourself signed up. Again, as I mentioned to you, also part of the maternity package, if your plan is to give birth in the hospital, if that plan comes to fruition, this would be a great way to collect some monies for your stay. Lastly, we do offer a well card benefit. So if you are interested, you can reach out to Christine. We'll provide a well card. It offers discounts off of health and wellness services not typically covered by insurances, or perhaps that have been covered already and you no longer have the benefit. So I think on a vision benefit, for instance, you might be allotted 1 to 2 frames per year, or maybe as every 2 years. With this well card benefit, if you're interested, you can actually go ahead and take it to a vision provider, all the major ones, LensCrafters, Walmart Eyes, Target Eyes, JCPenney Optical, all of the major providers, and they'll offer discounts off of vision. They also offer discounts off of dental services, as well as some other non-traditional things like telemedicine. It has a televet, has a few different things you can utilize. This well card is at no cost. The only thing it requires is for you to reach out to one of our counselors. We'll explain how it works. We'll get you signed up and send the card out to you.
Okay, great. Are we open for Q&A now, Scott?
Yeah, just about. I wanted to just one more second. I'm going to give you guys the options here for flexible enrollment. Of course, you have
Great.
double ways you can get in touch. One, you can reach out via phone anytime you want. We can actually get you signed up over phone. Two, you can reach out to us to schedule an appointment to sit down. We're happy to do that. Or three, like I said, you'll have an appointment link that'll be coming out that you can click on to schedule an appointment with Christine or myself.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, now would be the opportunity to ask any questions. You can unmute yourself or you can complete a chat. And I will read it for you. Go ahead, Tracy.
Scott, if I enrolled in one of the programs, am I able to cancel at any time, or is there a certain cancellation period?
Great question, Tracy. I know we're in open enrollment here for a lot of your benefits that are in the flexible benefits program. Colonial is an exception. Because all our benefits are done post-tax, employees can actually enroll, cancel, change anytime throughout the year. So although it is great to look at this information during open enrollment, because that's when we're making our benefits decisions, you employees do have the flexibility of signing up anytime throughout the year without a qualifying event, making cancellations or changes as well.
Okay, great, thank you.
Great question. Any other questions?
Again, you can unmute or feel free to just put it in a chat. I mean, one question I had, Scott, I'll jump in. We're waiting to see if anyone else does. On the accident coverage, if you have an injury, is there a certain time period in which you need to submit a claim?
Great question.
For it to be approved.
Yeah, great question. And we run up against this a lot, even though you wouldn't think we would. But under both the short-term disability and the accident insurance, you have up to 1 year to file a claim from the date of the incidents.
Okay.
So even though that's a long pin of time, we still will find folks that, hey, shoot, I forgot I had that. Or, you know what? I had the short-term and I forgot to file for COVID when I was out. It's a perfect opportunity for those clients to reach out to me, and we can see about getting an exception if that claim is over a year old. Even though they say that they want you to file in that first year, we have in the past been able to get some exceptions made for folks who have been filing claims outside of that year. So if that's you, please reach out to us. We can work with you to see if we can get that exception made for your claim.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Any
other questions?
Yeah, one other thing I'll say is I thank you guys so much for your service and your business. COVID has been a tough run for everybody, myself included. Not a lot of people want to see the traveling salesman during the COVID time. So I spent a lot of time at home with the cats. So I'm really happy to be getting back out on the road now and working with you guys. And like I said, I really appreciate you guys doing your jobs, keeping the wheels turning, and appreciate your service. If you guys do have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If you ever don't have our contact information, you're thinking, oh, how do I get a hold of Scott? You can always reach out to HR and they can provide that contact information to you as well. And once again, I want to thank Liz and Tracy for their efforts in coordinating these fairs, and certainly thank you all for attending.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
have
you,
a great
Scott.
day. Enjoy the
Thank
weekend.
you.
Okay, so I just want to mention that this presentation will be available on our HR webpage for reference and for those who couldn't attend. I do want to thank all employees and family members and retirees for joining the session. And just a reminder, we do have 2 more scheduled for this afternoon, so we encourage you to attend those as well. This is open enrollment. Again, time to make changes and goes from today until May 13th. So this is time to make changes or drop or add coverage. And I think that's about it. So we're going to wrap this one up. Thanks, Scott. Thank you,
Scott.
everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.